What's up, YouTube? I wanted to give you guys an update of my 90-gallon reef build, and a quick apology about how long it took for this update. I know you can kind of see everything's in the tank, and I wish I could have explained step by step of what I was doing, but I had a bathroom installed and I had to keep the tanks kind of covered with a plastic tarp to protect them from the dust and debris and all the stuff that was going on during the construction. But you can see here I did remove the 46 and replaced it with my workstation. So I know you guys asked for a close-up of my Aquascape. So sorry the phone isn't the best, but it's my camera phone. I will be investing in some kind of phone that can see with brilliant colors and all the stuff that you see from the corals. But just to go ahead and give you a close-up. Now, when I first started my Aquascape, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to build it up against the wall or in the middle and build some type of an island, because you could see it from this side. Now from here you kind of get a better idea of what I did. I actually started with the larger rocks in the middle of the sand, and you can see all the way back to the overflow over there. And I wanted to keep in mind the coral that I wanted to keep, fish, how big they get. So I mean, it all comes in to hand as far as how you're going to place your rock. So I did put the larger rocks down here, and you can see this one worked out perfect, because that little cave right there, my goby lives inside there. Bad news about my pistol shrimp. He actually jumped ship, and for some reason he jumped out of the tank. But that was out of the 46, not out of the 90. And also, as you can see, I like zoas. So I want to keep a lot of zoas. I like them in the tank. I think they're one of the prettiest things in the saltwater hobby. All the different colors you can get. So I wanted to create a zoa garden here, a zoa garden here, and a zoa garden here. Now you can see the shape of the rocks and the position they're in. It's actually kind of perfect. And I put my large colony right here. And a quick update on their frags that I made on another video. They're all doing extremely well. So I'm actually going to trade those guys in for some boxes of salt. But to further the Aquascape, now you can see I have 1, 2, 3 tanks in the tank. So when making your caves, you want to make sure that your fish can swim in and out of your caves easily without risk of scraping themselves up against the rock. So you got to make sure your fish can swim in and out. And the biggest thing, one of the biggest mistakes that I see is photosynthetic surface area. Now what do I mean by that? Is, can your coral all receive light? Now if your coral can all receive light, of course they're going to grow with proper dosing and water changes, whatnot, and maintenance of your tank. But when they start getting big, they'll start to block the coral that's under them. So coral placement is critical too. You don't want to put a bird's nest over something that would be sitting here that needs high light, because eventually the bird's nest will block the light of the coral below it. So what I did was I built the wall that leaned towards the back. Now I got levels from here all the way across, and you can see these little plates. This reef rock is awesome. There's little plates everywhere so you can glue coral onto it, and that's the main reason why I picked this rock, and because of the unique shapes. So you can see here how the wall slants down this way, and back here I have plenty of room for the fish to hide and go inside. Like right now, they're hiding from the camera. It's so that you don't have any dead spots. So you want to make sure water gets to the back. So I got my return blowing here, kind of bouncing off the glass here, and then going in the back, and you can see it did make a little bit of a wave in my sand, but that's a good thing too, because it's letting me know the water's getting back there. And of course I got the MP40s, so there's plenty of movement. So having low flow and dead spots in the rock is something you want to avoid too. So keep that in mind when you're building your aquascape. So like I said, you gotta keep in mind of your your zoas, your coral, your fish. All that stuff comes into part when building your aquascape. So if you don't try to meet the needs of everything in your tank, your aquascape might be unsuccessful. Don't get me wrong, I've seen some nice tanks out there that didn't really follow the rules or whatnot, but in some occasions it still works, but on most occasions it won't, because you'll develop old tank syndrome. And it all becomes in factor with water flow behind the rock. Some people like to take that and point it straight down behind the rock. In my case, I have an inductor, so the PSI is too strong. It'll just blow my sand out the way. So I got it bouncing off the glass in the back. But you want to make sure you have nice surface area. Enough room for them to grow and get thick, and then grow vertically, and it all just comes into play. So you got to keep it in mind when you're stacking your rock. Always leave places for your fish to get in and out of the back. You can see my cleaner shrimp back there. They're hiding down there. Even here doesn't look like much space, but the fish constantly come in and out of back of there. So, and what's really cool too is watching your fish zip in and out of the rock. They'll come out from behind it, go in one hole, come out another hole, go through the cave, go in a hole, come out the other hole, go down this hole, come out that hole, and it just makes your tank so much more enjoyable than just sitting there watching them swim back and forth. But here's a quick view of the aquascape, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. Get a few ideas. Nothing in this tank is glued. It's all basically sitting on each other, balanced, or well balanced. Keep that in mind, because you don't want a goby like, oh, he's not coming out, but a goby like him to go under your rock and remove all the sand, and then you have collapse aquascape. Something you got to avoid too, which is why I always recommend making contact with the back. It's probably one of the best ways to go if you're worried. If you're building the wall, it's definitely one of the best ways to go. But make sure you leave room in the back for the fish to swim and for flow to get through. But that's about it, guys. If you have any questions or something I missed out, just comment below, and happy reefing.